Good evening and welcome to the Kindergarten 2022 Enrollment Information Evening. My name is Alexandra Nothurfter and I am the Donovan House Leader. I now call Ethan Handunethi, who will lead us in the Welcome to Country.
We pause to remember the uniqueness of this place. We honour and respect the generations of the Tharawal people who held this land in their dreaming with prayer.
I now call Mrs. Bowen, who will be leading us in prayer this evening.
Okay, we'll start with the sign across. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. With Jesus as our guide, may we live simply as people of love and compassion, giving to those in need. May we live in the way of our good Mother Mary, in gentleness and humility. Strengthen in us a simplicity and love of work as we follow in the footsteps of St. Marcelin. Grant us the courage to learn, sing, create and play in the spirit of family. Open our hearts and enlighten our minds to your presence in the world as we learn to appreciate each other. We make our prayer through Christ our Lord. St. Marcelin Champagnon, Mary our good mother, and let us always remember to pray for one another. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Miss Bowen, for leading us in prayer. To open the evening, now I invite Mr. McMaster to give his address.
Well, good evening, everyone. Lovely to have you here tonight. Put your hand up if you were here last night. Me too. Put your hand up if you're here every night this week. Why only me? It is lovely to have you here tonight. And who's new to St. Gregory's College? Fantastic. Keep your hand up if you were here on Sunday for the open day. Oh, wow. What a great response. Thank you very much. Lovely you've come back and you're really interested in being part of our great family here at St. Gregory's. We are really proud of this place. As the college principal, I began here in 2019 and over the last 2 years have really watched this school grow into a magnificent place. Not that it wasn't a magnificent school, I must say, prior to me coming. You know, this school has existed for 95 years. We can go back to the 1920s to 1926 and look at the history of this school over many, many years. And I know we've got some old boys in the audience tonight who could probably tell a few stories about the school way back in, well, not way back. So we won't go there tonight. But look, tonight you're here because you're looking at where you will send your son or daughter for their first year of schooling, the first year of 13 years of schooling. We very much hope that we can accommodate your child here and be part of, as I said, a wonderful family we have here at St. Gregory's. St. Gregory's is a Catholic school. You know, I want to point that out first and foremost. And we're really proud to be a Catholic school in the Marist tradition. We are part of something very much bigger. You know, we're part of a church that, you know, at times has issues. But as a place of education for young people, it's a wonderful place to watch young people grow into the fine young people that they are. And Alex and Ethan are great examples of that here tonight. I think you're looking for a school, if you're here tonight, that offers that spiritual centre. Why would you want to enrol in a Catholic school like St. Gregory's if that isn't first and foremost in your minds? You know, because that's first and foremost in our mind as educators. As the principal of this school, you know, that's something that I work on very hard every single day with my staff and our students to ensure that what we're doing is meeting Jesus face to face every day. And we see that in other people. Surrounded in that spiritual centre is the quality of the teaching and learning and well-being that goes on here. There are so many things I love about the junior school, but I'm going to put it down to 3 things tonight. the junior school is a happy place. To go to the junior school lifts your heart. I wish I could spend every moment of my day down there, because it's just a beautiful place to go. You're greeted by the staff and the students so warmly. The young people down there look like, and I know they are, enjoying what they're doing, whether it's in the classroom or outside the classroom. So it's a happy place. The second thing I love about the junior school is the quality focus on young people and their growth and the well-being that takes place down there. Every child is known, and they're known so well. And the third thing I love about the junior school is just the absolute quality of our staff and the education that they're providing. And tonight you might hear a little bit about that, and I won't go into any depth about that. But if you're looking for a school to enrich and engage, and for your child to spend their next 7 years at a minimum in their junior school, in their primary schooling, then St Gregory's is a great place and a great choice that you would make. Now, of course, I'm biased. I'm the school principal, and I'm allowed to be biased. But my bias is because, I've worked in 6 other schools. And when I came to St Greg's in 2019, it didn't take me long to fall in love with, a wonderful school with a great heart, a great tradition and a wonderful culture, but a place that's willing to move. Now, this is not a school that sits on its hands. It's very much a school that is always looking for continuous improvement. Last night, for example, we had a K-6 parent forum, something very special in the way that we do things here. We engage our parents in a forum that allows them to listen, but also to ask questions. And I heard Joel and Diana, our head of junior school and our assistant head of junior school, speak elegantly and fluently about the program of education that's running down there. We call it the PYP, the Primary Years Program. And how that engages young minds in such a special way to not just be vessels of learning, but to be inquirers of learning. So it is a special place. And for you being here tonight, you're reaching out to us and saying, we're really interested in being part of this great family that you have here. And if you've got a son, that might be for the next 13 years. If it's a daughter, that even might be for the next 13 years. Not at the moment, but it might be, in years to come. So that's great. It's good that you've done that. There are many good schools around. This is one of those great schools. I look at what we've achieved over those 95 years, but specifically in the 2 years that I've been here, and it's not because of me, it's because of our wonderful staff, our outstanding students and our supportive parents, that we're taking this school on a new journey. And that journey that we're taking them on is to a place that makes them the fine young men and women that will be our leaders in the future. So thank you for being here. Thanks for engaging in something that is pretty special to all of us. We love this place. It sells itself. If you were here on Sunday and you saw some of those students take you around on tours, whether it was down the junior school or up here in the senior school, you would have been amazed. They are so proud of their school. And they didn't put on an act on Sunday just to show you that. That's how they feel every single day. So welcome tonight. I hope over the coming months that we get to see more of you, that you make sure you put in an enrolment application. We'll talk a little bit about that tonight to you so you're fully aware of how that happens. But for me, it's lovely to see so many of you here and wanting to become part of such a wonderful family. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. McMaster. And now I invite our head of our junior school to give his address.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome this evening. It's great to see so many new faces, some of the faces I saw on the weekend, and some of our current families as well. It's great to see you here tonight. I'm a little bit biased, like Mr. McMaster. I love the place, love the school, love the energy, love the enthusiasm, not only the kids and the staff. There's a good mix of student, staff, and parents all coming together for the one reason. It's about these young kids. Like Lee, I was excited to have those Year 6 kids, those Year 5 kids on the weekend actually take you around around our campus. Kids like Alex and Ethan who are walking around and just telling their story about their classes and their learning and what was happening in their learning spaces. Now, they're spending 6 hours a day, 5 days a week at our school. They're the ones who really know what's happening on the inside out, and it was great to see that happening. When you signed up for St Greg's, you're enrolling to this. Like Lee said, 95 years of tradition and history. And yes, most of that 95 years has been boys' education, but over the last 4 years, we've gone into a co-educational model down the primary school. And for that, it adds a different flavour. And I think from what some of the high school staff have been telling us, and even some of the boys, it adds just a different dimension to what St Greg's is all about. And for these kids, learning from the big boys up top is something quite special. And I think some of the big boys up top also learn a little bit from the little guys as well. So it's a great partnership, and I know some of the staff love to learn from one another as well. Here we are at the moment. This is the current shot that was taken only a few weeks back, actually, over top of the junior school, looking at those lovely green fields up to where we sit tonight, up in the high school, and it's quite a beautiful sight. When you look at that greenery. And when you look at our society and how built up it is, to have that much space around us is quite unique. I know we've got some old boys here. I know some of the old boys are telling you, but hang on, it used to go all the way to Cannon Valley Way on those lovely green hills. But this is still special. And I think what we can offer our kids in regards to our agriculture, in terms of our great teaching and learning, our lovely facilities, is next to none, really. This is our purpose, and most information nights, so I keep coming back to this because I think it's really at the heart of what we're trying to do. It's all about our purpose, okay? It's not about coming to a school that's great at sports, or coming to a school that's just a Catholic school, or coming to a school that's just about academics. It's about that whole picture, that holistic education. And this is written in our mission statement. It says, our purpose is to provide and promote a holistic education which strives to bring out the best in our students. And that's what we're trying to do day in, day out. Now we want to have our students that are exposed to so many different bits and pieces, so many different experiences, so they can actually learn to love what they want to love, learn to be passionate about what they're passionate about. If you come to see us on the weekend, you would have seen these lovely learning spaces. They're very contemporary learning spaces. When you walk around, there's a vibrancy. And as Lee said, it is a happy place. There's lots of colour. The kids love being down there, and it's a classroom environment that is engaging, just like our front of our school is. I think it's an inviting place. It's bright, it's colourful, and it's inviting for young students. That's what we want to be down there: bright, enthusiastic. We want to be contemporary. In our time at St Greg's, we try and expose our kids, as I said, to many different experiences. Our co-curricular experiences that Mrs. Rovanchik will talk about very shortly is at the heart of what we're trying to achieve. So it's not just about the PYP and what's happening in the classroom and that teaching and learning, but it's about the co-curricular and it's that Marists life. One of the big challenges for, I know Mrs. Limbury is very excited about this year, is developing our house system. Our house system in the junior school is exactly the same as the house system in the senior school. And for us, we're on a journey in promoting that culture, but we're on a journey where we're part of a bigger culture as well in that high school. And that's something that we're quite passionate about this year. And that little picture up there, bottom right-hand corner of Donovan, and we've got our Donovan captain right here in Alexandra. It's opportunities like that it gets the kids excited about what they come to school for. And those little experiences day in, day out are a bit of fun for us as well. We're an agricultural school. One of the things that we love to do, I know our kindy teachers, one of their best times of the year is actually coming over here to the farm. There's different times of the year where the ag department have got little lambs being born. And our kindergarten kids come across and actually get to pat the lamb, get to visit the agricultural farm, get to see the vegetables that are being grown, get to see a different type of education that doesn't happen in every school. It's a different element. I know we've got a lot of year 5 and 6 kids that come up to the high school, and the number one thing they want to do is get down to that ag farm. One of the first things that the year 7s do when they come up to the high school is actually get their hands dirty. They head down to the farm and they start ploughing the land. And I know some of our year 6 kids can't wait to get up here to actually get their hands dirty. So it's just another element to what St Greg's has to offer our junior school kids. And I know Alex and Ethan, if I ask them about the ag farm, they've got fond experiences already of heading down the farm. I'm going to hand you over to Mrs. Bowen in a moment. Mrs. Bowen is our Leader of Learning, Religious Education. She's in the role this year, and she's going to come and talk to us about what Lee has already spoken about our Marists education and a bit about religious education as well. But I'll pass you back to Alexandra to introduce Mrs. Bowen officially.
Thank you, Mr. Weeks. I now invite Mrs. Bowen, the Leader of Learning and Religious Education, to discuss our Marist education and religious education at the junior school.
Good evening. Part of my role as Leader of Learning and Religious Education is to ensure that the students at the junior school develop and foster a deeper connection with their Catholic faith. St Gregory's was created by one of the Marist brothers, and so our values and beliefs as Marist school is one that is led by Mary. At St Gregory's, we pride ourselves on our character and how we display the Marist qualities in everything that we say and we do. We have a very warm, welcoming family community at our school, and we strongly believe that the relationship between the teacher and the student and their families are extremely important. At our school, we have an opportunity for students to be involved closely with the Marist life of our school through our co-curricular activity, Mini Marists. This is a K-6 group that meets at lunchtime once a fortnight to take part in planning in a variety of fundraisers and outreach programs, such as Christmas appeals for St Vincent de Paul and other Marist schools overseas. Prayer is an essential part of the life of our school. The students pray daily. That prayer that I said earlier was actually our school prayer. And we also celebrate junior school masses each term at the school senior chapel. We also have the K-12 masses here in the hall. And if you've ever been lucky enough to experience one of those, you will know that they are spectacular. My very first one, I remember the goosebumps and the spine tingling feeling I got when we were able to hear the boys sing. It's amazing. We also have special liturgies in the junior school, and these are specially prepared for our students and are a very successful part of our religious education program. Just recently, you may have seen advertised, we had our Ash Wednesday liturgies held in our classrooms, and we were lucky enough to have the Year 12 boys come down and lead those in each of the grades. It was such a special and reverent moment that I think both the boys enjoyed the singing and the children enjoyed having the boys come down and be part of our celebration. We are connected to the St Mary MacKillop Parish at Oran Park, and all of our sacramental programs are offered and run through there. I'd like to thank you for considering St Gregory's College for your child's education, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Bowen. I now introduce our kindergarten teachers, Mrs. Lembry and Mrs. Scott.
Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming out tonight. I think most of you we've met now. My name's Louise Lembry. I'm the K-2 team leader and kindergarten teacher, and this is Christy Scott, who also teaches kindergarten this year.
Louise and I both strongly believe that the foundation year of schooling is one of the most important. It's essential that we set children up for success early on and build strong foundations for future successes, both academically and socially. We'd like to thank you for taking the time tonight to come along and learn a little bit more about our school.
So in a kindergarten classroom, one of the most important things is learning social skills. It's a very important job. How we manage our own feelings, how we interact with other people, what do I do if I need help? At St Greg's, we begin early to develop independence and resilience in our students. asking them to be problem solvers and risk takers in their relationships and interactions with others. We have a buddy system, so each of the kindergarten students is buddied up with a Year 6 student. And throughout the year, we organise lessons and activities that focus on developing those skills. Showing care and kindness towards others is highly valued, and we strive to be like Mary in our interactions with everyone we meet.
Academically, we have a strong focus on the basic foundational skills, which will set all of our children up for success. Through the use of the Ants and the Apple spelling program, students are encouraged to master all single letter sounds and use them in their reading and writing independently. We value correct formation of letters because we know that research tells us the ability to record those sounds correctly is vital for future literacy skills. The foundations of the mathematics syllabus is also emphasised with a combination of drilled practice, problem solving and working mathematically, found in all of our maths lessons. Most kindergarten students learn in a hands-on inquiry way, so we always endeavour to provide opportunities to cater for everybody's learning needs.
As you've already heard, St Gregory's Junior School is in the process of becoming a PYP school, so primary years program. And so right from the very beginning of kindergarten, your children will have the opportunities to develop their inquiry skills, taking advantage of their innate natural curiosity. By using this framework, we're able to extend and support students to reach their full potential in a safe, nurturing environment.
So I guess as parents, we always want to know, what can we do? What can we do to prepare our children for school? How can we make sure that they're ready? Well, there are a couple of things that we recommend. The single most important thing that you can ever do for your child between now and starting school is to read to them. Read, and then read some more. The more you read, the more they will grow. Ask them questions about what they've read. What might happen next? Which part of the story did you like best? Does this story remind you of something? Practice recognising and writing their first name, always starting with a capital letter first and then lower cases for the rest of the name. Pay close attention to the letter formation in terms of direction and size. It's much easier to teach correct formation than to undo bad habits.
Encourage independence. I know, as a mum, it's often easier and quicker to simply do it yourself. But the reality is you have to let them go, let them struggle, let them become problem solvers. It's in the struggle that they're going to learn persistence, and that's a skill that's really worth learning.
With regards to number and maths, make sure you're talking about it in everyday environmental language. See it in the environment around you. Ask your children, is your cup half full? Is it empty? What do you see? Which piece of fruit do you think will be heavier? Point out numbers on letterboxes, anywhere you can find them in everyday life. Challenge children. Ask them, what do you think comes next? How many more do you think we'll need? Give them jobs. Ask them to set the table with 5 knives and 5 forks. See if they can count them all up together. Look, it's great to have your children counting from 1 to 100, but it is so much more important for them to know the value of numbers, to know what comes next, what's more than, and place value.
So thank you again for coming tonight. So I hope that some of the information we provided has helped you and been helpful to you. And Christy and I will both be around at the end. So please come up and say hi again and ask any questions that you have. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Limbry and Miss Scott. I would now like to invite Miss Rovanchik, Assistant Head of Junior School, to discuss opportunities and enrolment.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, my name is Diana Rovanchik. I'm the Assistant Head of Junior School, but also the PYP Coordinator, which you've heard the term used a couple of times this evening, and I'm sure you'll hear more about in years to come. I just wanted to share with you some of the opportunities that our students have. So apart from our academics, it's one of the highlights, I think, of the days at the junior school. Our students participate in lots of different school events and also co-curricular clubs in the lunch times. So we are part of the IPSO Sport, which is the Independent Schools Association of Sport. So things like OzTag and netball and what else have we got, Alex? AFL volleyball, basketball, things that they participate in, so that we have trials for those sorts of things, and we have training and they participate in those in sports times. But then we also have little clubs for those lunch times when the students are looking for something a little bit extra to just playing out in the playground. So things like art club, Lego club, very popular. We have dance and drama, and this year we'll be participating in Wakakiri, which is a dance drama performance. So that's very exciting. That's all up and running now. The mini Marists, which Mrs. Bowen leads, and we look at action there, trying to be part of the Marist community and be able to provide some service. Our nature club has been very successful. So we have our garden, we have our compost bins, we've got our worm farm, which the students take care of and look after. And I'm pleased to say I had some lovely silver beet and bok choy last year that I was able to take home and put into my dinners, and they get to take those home as well. So such pride when they go off catching the bus and they're carrying their little bunch of silver beet. I don't know if it arrives home, but they've got it to start with. Public speaking is something that we are going from strength to strength in, and we participate in the Gordon Feder Place public speaking competition, which runs from year 5 to 12. So that's been a wonderful whole school initiative that we have been part of. So in our first year, 3 years ago, when we participated, we had six year 5 and 6 students. Last year we had 12, and this year we had 26 who participated, and it's something that we actually have as a whole school program as well. But for those students who really enjoy public speaking, there are opportunities for them to participate in other competitions or clubs. We have an instrumental program, so we have independent tutors who will come in and teach the students different instruments that they might be interested in. They could be part of the band. For our older years, currently Miss Catherine Ray, who is the music teacher in the senior school, comes down and she takes some lessons. So there's wonderful opportunities across the college for the teachers to share their skills and the students to be part of that whole K-12 experience. We have house sport, and often we will have companies that come in as well and teach them different skills like AFL or cricket and so on. And our new initiative this year is the SRC. So from kindergarten through to year 6, we have representatives that will be part of this group, and they will get together and look at how they can take action in their school and have a voice. And that's something that we're really very, very, very proud of, to give our students a voice, give them something to action. And one that's not up there, but it's only new this year for our year 5s and 6 students, is we've actually put together a show team. So the agricultural show team that goes to the different shows, Miss Hayley Marnie, who is the head of agriculture in the senior school, is actually looking after a junior team. So they come and train with her once a week in the afternoon, and they're actually going to be able to go and show cattle at some of the shows this year. So that's very exciting, and I don't know if there are many schools that can offer that. So that's it's wonderful. And these are just things that we keep developing because, you know, either the teachers put their hands up to do it or the students ask to do it, and we're very happy to provide it. Okay, moving on to the most important part, I'm sure, of the night, and that's enrolments. So just to give a little brief outline of how the process will actually work. So to begin with, your application will be submitted online. So there's no paper applications anymore. Some of you I know have already done that. But if you haven't, you've got the 2 sheets that you either got in your pack on the weekend, or they're out on the table if you wanted to take another copy with the information on how to do so. So the application will be submitted online first of all. The link is on that enrolment sheet, and there will be an enrolment application fee of $50 online, and that's done as an online payment as well, and you do that at the same time as submitting your application. Now, when you're submitting your application, these are really important, because if any of these are not in there, then it'll be sent back to you until it's actually got everything we need. We need a portrait photo of your child. We need a copy of birth certificate. Please don't send in your original. A copy of the birth certificate, the immunisation history statement. We need the baptism certificate copy. If applicable, visa or citizenship. And what is very important is that all questions are answered on the application. If there are things that are missing, it'll be sent back to fill in, because without all that, Daniela Romeo will probably need to contact you to get that missing information. So please make sure that you have filled in all those bits of information. So the process, once you have submitted your enrolment, that application must be submitted by the 19th of March. So you've still got quite a bit of time there. The application is then reviewed. So we have a stage there between March and April. We're not going to be very specific about a date there, but between March and April, the applications will be reviewed based on obviously how many are there, will be how long it takes. The interviews will then be held in term 2. So from the review process, you'll be notified about interviews, and they'll be held in term 2. So around April, May. After the interviews, there'll be a letter of offer by Friday the 25th of June. The acceptance now is done online. It's an online process as well. And once you have received an online acceptance, then you need to complete the online documentation by the due date, and that's really important. And payment of $500, which is non-refundable, as your confirmation fee once you agree that you would like to take that enrolment. So basically, everything that you need to know is online. We will be around for a little while this evening if you need to ask questions. I know that Mrs. Romeo will also be able to answer questions if you have anything further, but we'd like to thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Mrs. Rovanchik. Thank you, parents and friends. This is an exciting journey for you and your child. This now concludes the evening. Have a safe travel home, and we look forward to the 2022 kindergarten journey.